We can hear you. Take it away.
Well, thank you for not aging me and saying that I've been doing it for so long. But truth is, Ellie and I went to school way back when, and I did graduate from PCOM, now called Pacific College of Health Sciences. I am a doctor of acupuncture and oriental medicine, a rock hound, an aromatherapist. I founded the company Gem Elixirs. I also specialize in MIE, motivation, inspiration, and encouragement. And I have so much to share with you today. When Ellie said, could you talk a little bit about romance, arousal, sensuality? And I said, well, I can, but I'm really trying to give up sexual innuendos. But it's hard. It's so hard. So I wanted to start with that joke. It is such a fun topic, that and aromatherapy and gemstones. I could talk all night, but I've got now about 26 minutes. And one of my favorite people's following me, Kathy, is going to come in about 25 minutes. So I can see the chat for now. You are welcome to ask questions as we go through the download and the little presentation I have for you today. If I miss your question or comment, I will save some time at the end, so make sure, I want you to know you will get your questions answered and your comments. And let me start by bringing up the download that you could have received. And we'll go into there. We're going to talk about gemstones, aromatherapy, and how we can use those. I'm going to go here and full screen mode. Ellie, at any time you jump in and let me know if something technical goes on your side.
Got it.
So we're here to talk about love, setting the mood for romance, gemstones, aromatherapy, and lucky, you might get a little bit more. I'd like to start with gemstones, and I want you to all envision a magnet. Think about magnets and how they either pull in, draw in, attract, or repel and push out. On a very small, subtle scale, that's kind of how gemstones affect our energy field. So you can use gemstones to affect your energy field, to draw in what you want, remove things that you don't want. Gemstones are our friends. They've been around, they're tools, they're there for us to use. I'm sure many of you have gemstones. Many of us collected them as little kids. And sometimes you don't know why you're attracted to a certain gemstone, and sometimes you know exactly why, or you choose a gemstone specifically. You might look up in a book and say, I'm looking for love, or I want to enhance my arousal. And so you might have looked up specific gemstones for that, or maybe you haven't. Well, I've got some for you. There are a number of gemstones that do so many things, but the ones that you see right here are specific for sensuality, romance, setting the mood. You can see Garnet is #1 because it's kind of the leader in the gemstone realm for sensuality and romance and getting that kind of arousal, libido, that sort of thing. Rose quartz, many of us are very familiar with rose quartz. I have a big, huge rose quartz right here. It's the universal stone of love. It's great for you to feel love, attract love, set the mood for love. This kind of gemstone orb would be great for a bedroom, to just kind of softening the mood and kind of inviting an aura of love and romance. Garnet is your sexy time gemstone. So that one's a little bit fiery. It's a darker red purple color. If you want to correlate that to the chakra systems, we're looking down towards the sacral chakra. That color is red and reddish orange. Those kinds of stones in general would be really good for just kind of sparking the fire down there. But Garnet is the one that's been used for centuries for love and romance and getting yourself in the mood. Rose quartz, again, is your overall end-all be-all. I have a little bit more about rose quartz in a moment. Other gemstones for setting the mood, for romance and sensuality. Citrine, red jasper is a really good gemstone, especially for that sacral chakra. Carnelian, I have a beautiful carnelian right here. Carnelians can be really dark red. It can be marbled with some orange and even has some clear quartz looking inside of the carnelian. It's really up to you. In terms of a stone, what do I pick? I always say let a gemstone talk to you. Sometimes you'll walk into a store and you won't really understand, why am I so attracted to this gemstone? I just almost can't seem to leave the store without buying it. That's how sometimes I pick that, or sometimes a gemstone finds its way into your life, somebody gifts it to you. So there's a lot of ways to pick gemstones, and there's a lot of ways for them to pick you. If you're trying to pick a gemstone, since we're talking about love, garnet, rose quartz, citrine, red jasper, carnelian are some big hitters. And then specific for men and specific for unblocking any barriers to sexuality, smoky quartz has been used for years to remove the barriers, the blockage, anything that's kind of preventing the man's natural instincts. A lot of these gemstones are more for women. Men don't seem to have a whole lot of problems with sexuality or sex drive, but if they do, smoky quartz is a good gemstone to try. And we'll get into later on in a few moments. I'll explain, okay, so what do I do when I get some smoky quartz? There's a lot of options, and we'll get to that in the and more section. So just to summarize, and I have some pictures of gemstones right here on this download. Garnet is your go-to for kind of sexiness, feeling sexy, invoking sexy, feeling in the room. Rose quartz is great, universal. Citrine, red jasper, carnelian, smoky quartz, and something that's not on this download that only you're getting live is good old-fashioned quartz. Quartz is a energy amplifier. So if you and your partner, you and your partners, I don't know what you're into, are already in the mood, quartz will only amplify that. So you can never go wrong with quartz unless you're having issues around getting romantic or feeling romantic. You might want to keep the quartz and use a gemstone like garnet or rose quartz to fire the flame, or not enhance, rather, any issues that you might have around it. So quartz is great. A lot of people ask me about quartz. Quartz is a go-to, and you see a lot of quartz right here in the picture. That is gemstones. Now, let's say you say, well, East, I don't have one partner or multiple partners, but I'd love to find a partner. Valentine's Day is right around the corner. These are my 3 favorite go-to attracting love gemstones. Rose quartz, wear it. We're going to talk about this. Place it in your clothing, keep it in your pocket, put it in your car, put it under your bed. Rose quartz with the intention, I want to attract true love to me. Speaking of true love, Larimar, the one that you see at the bottom, the green, bluish, ocean-looking stone, is also referred to as the soulmate stone. A lot of people will wear Larimar to draw in their soulmate, to attract the love of their life. You can get Larimar. Oh, I happen to have a lot of Larimar at gemstone shops, online. Make sure it's a really nice, beautiful piece of Larimar. And Rhodochrosite, as you can see, is the purpley pink on the bottom left, is another choice for attracting your soulmate. The beautiful thing about Rhodochrosite and rose quartz is that those 2 gemstones help us heal our own issues of love, loving ourselves, inability to love ourselves. And when we do that, when we can finally really love ourselves and feel that, like attracts like. It's interesting how that happens. So we start to feel more love for ourselves. We just feel loving. We're emanating love. Seems to attract it. So these are my 3 go-tos for attracting love. If any of you are here like, yeah, I like this talk, but I need a partner here or more, here's how you're going to get them with these 3 stones. Let's move on to aromatherapy. Aromatherapy has been used for centuries. It's mentioned in the Bible. It's so ancient and old, and it's so time-tested and so true. In terms of aromatherapy for evoking the mood for women, think of flowery essential oils. Think of a woman, they want to be courted, they want to be pampered. A woman really has to feel secure and safe to kind of become aroused. So for aromatherapy for women, we look at rose essential oil, rose absolute, jasmine, ylang ylang, and geranium. I have a funny story about aromatherapy. They did a study where they blindfolded these men. And they would walk women in front of the blindfolded men, and the women would have certain essential oils on their bodies. And they would ask the men, as these women walk by, smell them, and we want you to tell us, do you think that they're old, young, or sexy? So the men, of course, are like, okay, let's do this. So they put lavender on the women, and they walked the women across the men, and the men smelled the women, and they said, they smelled the lavender with their blindfolds. They said, old, old. It didn't matter if the woman was 24 and the most gorgeous person on the planet. They smelled that lavender and they said old. So then they put, the next essential oil that they put on all the women was grapefruit. So now these women walk across the men blindfolded with grapefruit essential oil. As they smelled, they all screamed out young, youthful, kind of spunky personality. This is just from smelling. I know you're all waiting. Okay, which one is sexy? Which one? I want the sexy one. Maybe some of you are going out to go buy the grapefruit so that people think you look younger. What is the sexy smell? I bet you, some of you might be able to guess it. It was vanilla. So when they had vanilla, they also were able to repeat this same response with geranium. So vanilla and geranium, for some reason, invoke a vision of sexy and sultry. In fact, this is another interesting tidbit. There's a company in Las Vegas, Nevada called Aromasys, and they specialize in producing smells to get a desired result. What do you think they want in Las Vegas? They want more gambling. So the big major casinos hired Aromasys to create a blend of essential oils that made people gamble more, made them feel a little frisky. And that blend is vanilla and geranium. So you see it right here. For women, flowery essential oils, get them in the mood: rose, jasmine, ylang ylang, and geranium. With this caveat, my friends, with essential oils or aromatherapy, make sure it's pure, make sure it's natural, it's not synthetic. And we don't want to put any of these really directly on the skin. Make sure they're put into some sort of carrier oil, a massage oil perhaps. The idea is to have it diluted. In some cases, some of these essential oils can burn the skin. So you just want to make sure you're not just dropping a bunch of essential oils on somebody and hoping to get them in the mood. You might actually do the reverse. What about our man friends? Now, you don't see any pictures of flowers, although ylang ylang also can invoke arousal and sensuality in men. What you see are essential oils that, if you are a practitioner of Chinese medicine, tonify jing. You're seeing essential oils that tonify kidney and yang. So myrrh and nutmeg and ginger and black pepper, they really kind of get that virility and that strength. And that, from there, springs the arousal, the libido, the sex drive for men. So there is one essential oil that's flowery and for both, and that's ylang ylang. But for men, we want to go with the strong, strengthening, tough. Maybe you'll get the 6-pack of abs. I think he's got 8. I don't know. Let's go on. How do we put it all together? In my practice of over 20 years, the best way to put these modalities, aromatherapy and gemstones, together, set your intention and be really specific. I want to draw in a lover. I want to enhance the romantic relationship that I already have. I want more love, softness, gentleness in my relationship. Or I want to spice things up. So set that intention and then charge your energy field. Wear the gemstones. You see this picture has a picture of aromatherapy jewelry. Little lava stones on jewelry will absorb and hold essential oils. So you can not only have gemstone jewelry with the desired gemstones. Maybe you make yourself a garnet and rose quartz bracelet with some lava stones, and then you're going to drop whatever essential oil onto the lava stone to just kind of create that dual effect. So you want to wear the gemstones. You want to have the essential oils in the room. You can take drops of essential oils and put it into a little 2-ounce spray bottle, glass preferably. The ratio is usually 20 drops to 2 ounces. So you can pick some of those essential oils and spray the room down. You can buy a diffuser. You can buy some of the scented candles. Just be mindful that any aromatherapy is natural. It's not synthetic. And that's a whole other class. We can get to that a little later. So the step 2, wear it, spray it, display it. Have big gemstones in your home. Have them in your room. Put little pieces of the gemstones under your bed and under the pillow. You can combine the two. A gem elixir is when I take a gemstone and put it into water. Traditionally, you charge that concoction, that elixir, under a full moon or the moon. And then the water will take on the properties of the gemstone. So what I created in the year 2010 was a company called Gem Elixirs with a Z, where that's exactly what we did. We did aromatherapy with gemstones in the bottle with intentions. So there's a joy, there's a calm, there's a love. And the whole intention was to draw that energy to the person who was using the product. Step 3, watch as your desires come to you. And that's exactly what they do. In the terms of bracelets or setting these intentions, I have a moment to tell you a little story. If you make a bracelet for attracting love or sparking the romance in your existing relationship and it breaks, oh no, don't panic. Breakage like that is usually a sign of a breakthrough, either is happening or just about to happen. I created a spray called Love, and it had rose and ylang-ylang. It was a beautiful essential oil spray from Gem Elixirs with love. And the 3 gemstones I put in there were rose quartz, amethyst, and red aventurine. And those are the gemstones in the bottle. A customer of mine reported back that she had the rose love spray that she would spray every day. And she would say, she at that time had been in a long-term relationship and wanted somebody to pop the question. So she would spray that spray every day. And her significant other just wasn't coming to the plate. She was getting a little discouraged. On one particular day, her boyfriend said, hey, let's go to the beach. And she was a little, I don't know, overwhelmed with something else going on, maybe work. And so she begrudgingly went to the beach. He opened up the back of her trunk to get out the blanket for the beach, and her love spray fell out and broke on the floor. And she was so upset. She was like, oh my gosh, that's my love spray. How are we ever going to get married now? He proposed that night. I have so many of those stories. That company's over 10 years old, story after story. The moral of the story, to put another pun out there, is set the intention and watch as your desires come to you. You got to be really clear on what you want. If something breaks, there's a breakthrough in it. That is it for my presentation. I did want to leave information or some time for questions and answers. Like I said, I specialize in motivation, inspiration, encouragement. Some of you look familiar for me when I saw in the chat, so it's great to see some of you. And some of you are brand new to me. You can learn more about me at drreese.com. I have masterminds, coaching, workshops. Recharge is a big event I put on every year. We just had an amazing one where we played more with gemstones. If you opt in on my website, I will send you a e-guide on adding gemstones to your practice in life. It's a whole separate presentation and e-guide that way. Let me stop sharing so that I can look at the chat and take questions if there's any questions for you. I also want to make sure that I give enough time for Kathy to come on and give you her juicy information on sexuality, sensuality, using herbs to get yourself in the mood. So if using as a spray, let's see, not to go on humans, you can add water. Yeah, absolutely. So one of your colleagues, Tambris, is reminding you with essential oils, be mindful of not putting them directly on the skin. You can put drops of essential oils in a base of water. The thing is oil and water, they don't like to mix very well, right? So they'll separate. So you have to shake it up. Or you want a secret, this is only for you that are tuning in right now. Put a few drops of alcohol. Go to your cabinet, grab some vodka and put some vodka in this bottle. And the vodka is an emulsifier. If some of you are like, oh, why would you do that? You can also use vegetable glycerin. There you go. Now you're not looking like an alcoholic. So to emulsify, to make essential oils, blend with water, a little bit of vodka goes a long way. Please don't use brandy. Everything will stink. Vodka doesn't smell. Or you can use vegetable glycerin. The issue with vegetable glycerin is sometimes it will clog the little spray cap. So thank you for bringing that. I gave you my kind of go-to ratio, 20 drops, no more, or else your 2 ounces of water is just really overdone. And some essential oils, honestly, are so strong that if you were to put 20 drops into 2 ounces, it would overpower. If you want to learn more about that, I have a course on my class, on my website, on it's a 4-hour e-course, distance learning course on aromatherapy. Also, I have a course here at Ear Seeds on combining aromatherapy with ear seeds. That's also an awesome course. I always forget about that one too. That one's fantastic. Which were the gemstones and oils for love? In my love spray, I used, oh, there's a whole bunch in there. Ylang ylang, rose. I threw a little lavender in the back end of that. And so the forefront, the signature smell of the love spray is a little rosy and a little sweet orange, a little ylang ylang. And the gemstones were rose quartz, amethyst, and red aventurine. I love red aventurine. It's easy to find. It's a great stone for self-love, for helping you feel loved. Rhodochrosite, which I showed up here, is a stone that is almost a more advanced stone in attracting your soulmate, helping you to heal any of your own issues. Rhodochrosite's great. I invite any one of you to go get a chunk of rhodochrosite and wear it and just wait for the compliments. Every time I wear my rhodochrosite, people are just staring at it. So make sure you're careful where you place said rhodochrosite if you don't want people staring there, because it definitely attracts the eyes, as does Larimar for sure. What heat-treated amethyst, would heat-treated amethyst be as effective as natural citrine, or do you recommend staying away for heat and only using natural? Excellent question, Carrie. Obviously, natural is more effective. Going back to that magnet, the natural stones have more of a magnetic resonance that interact with our auric fields more so than a human simulated or heat treated quartz or stone. It's basically synthetic. However, the power of intention should never be overlooked. If you have a heat treated citrine, which I have here, and your intention is very clear on what you wanted to do, I feel like you can still invoke the energy and the magic of that gemstone, even though it's a man-made or a heat-treated, simulated one. Excellent question. How can you tell if you're getting a heat-treated stone versus a real one? The cost of it. And same thing for essential oils. If you're at a store and you're like, wow, this rose oil is only $2, it's probably fake. Do not buy it. Rose essential oil is usually already given to you diluted in a carrier oil like jojoba. So if it's not expensive, look at the label closely and make sure that it's been diluted. And if it's not diluted, be suspicious. An eyebrow should raise up. It may be synthetic. And synthetic essential oils, absolutely, to the question that was asked about the gemstones, synthetic essential oils do not have the same effect as the natural ones. And my friend and colleague, Dr. Jane Buckle, has written several books and has done a bunch of studies proving that synthetic essential oils do not have the same effects on the human body. Please exercise extra caution with essential oils with pets in the home, Jody. Absolutely. I talk a lot about that in my class. Essential oils for us might not be anything, but for our fur babies, it can be very, very toxic. So be very mindful of that, especially if you're diffusing essential oils. I like to keep my animals out of the bedroom, so hopefully you do too when you're engaging in the acts, and so you can enjoy your favorite essential oils and not be worried about your fur babies getting hurt. I'm assuming the same holds true for smoking quartz. What's the best combination for oils to quickly attract the soulmate? Ooh, oils for a soulmate. That is a fantastic question. Rose, for sure. Anything that makes you feel loving will attract your soulmate. Anything. So an essential oil that when you smell it, you feel your shoulders raise and your whole energy raises. I had a spray I created called Energy. That could attract your soulmate, because maybe you're going through a phase in life where you're overworked, you're overwhelmed, and you're tired all the time. And let's say you're going to an event where you're going to meet a friend and you're like, I need some energy. And you spray this essential oil on you called Energy. And then all of a sudden you feel good. You walk in the room and you're all puppy. That could attract your soulmate. So that question's a little bit dependent, Gail, on the situation, especially cats. Do not let them sit in the mist. They do not process at all. Absolutely. Thank you for that about our furry friends. I always say with essential oils, less is more. Absolutely less is more. Start off small. You can always add more. With heat treated, I did not receive this download. So Tambry's asking for the download. Hi, Caitlin Robinson. You know what? You're in good hands with Ellie. He will get you everything you want. You can go onto my website, do the opt-in. We'll see about getting everything for you. This is 1 minute. Last call for questions. I think I covered everything. Look at us, Ellie. We're right on time.
All right. I am just going to quickly text Tova to stop by and get some vanilla and geranium on the way home and pick up some
right?
too.
I know. It's funny. I hide those essential oils. We have 2 small children. I have a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. So I'm like the opposite of that. But I will tell you that I used all my tricks to attract my soulmate, who is in the other room with said children as we speak.
Nice.
So I know this stuff works. I know it. It does. And I wish all of you so much love, success, sexuality, sensuality, the best sex of your life. And I hope to see you in the future at some point.
Thank you very much, East. I see Kristen says fantastic. Thank you, too. Thank you.